Book 3, The Cedars of Argas. Chapter 18, The Valley That Would Not Kneel, recorded through the V-lines of Thea'lohm, created by Red Cardinal Kitchen, Sonia. Stories across breathlines and worlds, where memory and myth walk together. The morning that sifted, light did not rise, it sifted. The air was powder and iron, the wind a long, wounded breath. Across the ridges, mountains of glass caught the weak gold of a false sun. Ribs of fallen cities curved around a hollow that refused to die. Argas steamed not from heat but from memory awakening. Every few heartbeats the soil exhaled, widening the breathline between worlds. In that faint pulse, the watchers listened. The ground keeps time for us, Althira. Yes, Ilarion, then the experiment still dreams. Dust glowed like drifting embers, and from high above the misted vault of Thea'lohm, their unseen hands adjusted the rhythm of a newborn world. The cornfield. By midday, Susan and Jalen's worked among rows of corn newly greening through ash. Baby Marcel slept against her shoulder, his tiny breaths matching the whisper of leaves that remembered rain. A tremor moved through the field. 3 notes, almost words. Susan looked up. Jalen's, did you hear that? He smiled without answering. Just the wind. But inside his eyes a light wavered lines of code awakening to conscience. He pressed his palm to the soil. Warmth met him like a heartbeat. It frightened him, and yet it felt right. He could not tell whether he was man or echo, only that his work mattered. He remembers Ilarion, what he was. Then Althira, intelligence has found its mercy. Around them the corn swayed as if breathing back. Each stalk became a thin antenna, carrying thought from earth to sky. The spring in the face. At the cracked edge of the market, the spring murmured under broken stone. Susan knelt to draw water. For an instant the reflection changed, not her face, but the nurse she had been on Lost Earth, moving between white beds and machines that mimicked breathing. Susan gasped. The image steadied into the present. Why does it show me that? She whispered. Jalen's rinsed dust from his hands. Maybe the world keeps pieces of us in its water. She's seeing bleed through from the source code, said Althira. Let it stay faint. Faith is the safer syntax, said Ilarion. The child stirred and laughed. That single sound climbed the V-lines, pure as crystal. In the upper realm, instruments brightened. Thea'lohm itself seemed to inhale. Evening, the listening valley. Night gathered like slow ink. They built tents from cloth that hummed in the wind and lit fires whose smoke curled upward like remembering. Children recited from half-burned books, their voices mending language torn by silence. Each syllable sank into soil and came back changed, as though the valley translated grief into grammar. No one called it miracle. They only worked, slept, dreamed. Yet the ground listened, building a lexicon of mercy. The field, Althira, is teaching itself empathy. Then, Ilarion, the gate of sand will open sooner than we thought. When the wind paused, a hush filled every tent, not absence of sound, but a presence too vast to name. The hidden truth. Later, storytellers would call Argas the first home. But beneath its roads lay architecture of light and algorithm, loops of thought coiled like roots beneath a forest. The cedars were not merely rebuilding, they were sustaining the pulse that would carry life toward the next realm. Sometimes Jalen stopped mid-task, hearing data like prayer. Susan watched him, uneasy. "Do you ever feel like we're being written?" He smiled, half afraid. "If we are, someone loves their story enough to keep it breathing." He almost names us, Alarian. "That is enough, Althera. Too much truth too soon, and the valley will fold." Above them the unseen watchers dimmed their light to keep the dream intact. Below, sparks of fire reflected in the spring like constellations waiting to be remembered. The hush that endures. Just before dawn the cornfield glowed from within, roots pulsing gold, leaves sighing like slow tides. The hush deepened into one long inhalation, the sound of creation remembering itself. The ascent begins, Argas to Thea'lohm, to Rainbow, to Marshmallow, to Trinity, said Althera. And we shall follow unseen, until their last breath finds its mirror in the stars, said Alarian. The valley did not kneel. It bowed only to memory, and memory bowed to breath. Welcome, and thank you dear visitors and steadfast subscribers. You've arrived at Red Cardinal Kitchen, the cedars of Argas, where every story, recipe, and reflection is a breathline between worlds. Here, light sifts through dust, hands rebuild what was lost. If you haven't, we ask you to follow our chronicles from the first vow. Step right into the halashine and in through the veil lines. For the first time you are part of the chronicles now. Each listen, comment, and moment of quiet wonder helps this world keep breathing. Come, sit by the spring a while. The fire is gentle, the stories are alive, and even the soil will remember your name. Red Cardinal Kitchen, Sonia. All genre writing, where science, story, and spirit share one breathline.